What is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video we're hopping back into the Kid Forest. Yes, you heard that correctly. We are hopping back into the Kid Forest. This time we're using a V3 lore team. So the thing I noticed about this forest actually is just red or strength and psi units are physical units, whatever you want to call them, red and yellow. They work so well in this particular forest. So if you are trying to beat this forest, throw together a team that's predominantly red and yellow units and you'll have a much easier time going about it. So looking back on my three teams, the key units you want to bring are like Clay, Usohachi, Sabo Koala, Mihawk Perona, Vivi Rebecca. Those are the big culprits, to be honest, and I've tried to chop and change as much as I can to show you guys other ways of getting around the pieces of content, but I just could not find a way to take this unit off the team. Like, he's not essential, but like he may as well be. They are so damn good for this particular piece. But let's break down the team. So straight up, we've got our leader, Law. Amazing tank. He's the tank god, honestly. Like, no one tanks better than this guy. His damage reduction, he has healing, he can use the Magello ship, he has a 4.5 times multiplier at 4 HP, at 4 times otherwise. He is really good. Really good. And him as captain, you get the full benefit of his special ability, which is just an incredible 2.25 times orb boost and a 2.5 to 35 times chain lock. Downside is orbs with this guy, so I would recommend having orb sockets if you can. We are rocking the limited rare recruit lore, Corazon on this lore. He's going to remove blind and attack down by 2 turns. So he's not essential, but he definitely makes life a lot easier. Like, a lot easier. It means that you can use the Clay special on the page 1 X-Drake stage instead of on the Big Mom stage, which is huge because then you don't have the removes special effects. But it is doable without it. I think. I'm pretty sure it's doable without it. Let me know in the comment section below if you've given it a whirl. Alright, next we have Usohachi. Whoop. We have Usohachi here. Oh my gosh. We have Usohachi. Usohachi is a goat. He has such a good special ability. He's amazing for the killer stage in particular. But you can replace him with someone like Vivi Becker or anyone else that removes defense up, threshold, or damage reduction. But ideally you want them to be a red unit. Vivi Becker is the best replacement for this guy, but he is just so damn good for the killer stage. The delay as well as the cooldown, it helps out a lot. We just have next we have Clay. Clay's switch ability is just incredible, removing paralysis, giving damage reduction, as well as they have an incredible heal on their special, as well as pretty good utility. So we don't use their utility in this particular run, but the heal we definitely do use. Next, we have Sabo Koala. Sabo Koala are freaking amazing. Something to note is we do have them key limit breaking. If you guys have units like V3 Lore, Shanks Crew, V2 Snake Man, I would definitely look at limit break keying this unit. The extra cooldown is actually clutch. It helps out drastically in these forest runs, and I imagine in the Garbs challenges moving forward as well. It also allows us to use this guy as a support. Halloween Ace removes 3 turns of bind. Again, not necessary, but definitely helps out a lot. But I would only recommend using this guy if you have the Corazon support. If you don't have Corazon support, or if you don't have the Halloween A support, just don't even worry. Just use the Clay, and then get good with your tap timing on the X-Drake page 1 Hawken stage, because you're gonna need it. Finally, we have Krieg and Jin. This unit's actually ridiculously good. They have the same switch ability as Clay with their damage reduction. They remove defense up. They give a 2 times orb boost. Really, we only use these guys for their defense up and the fact they do damage. The reason that is so good is we can use the support of V1 Akainu. Now, V1 Akainu is going to change all our orbs to red and give a 1.5 times attack boost to our strength units. Against Page 1, X-Drake, and Hawkins, that is actually essential, as you can't use an attack boosting special on that stage, so you have to use either switch abilities, support abilities, or super types. And this is a good little way to get around that. So we do have this support on Krieg and Jin. Krieg and Jin's actually really good too, because when you switch, you get a matching orb, and it helps out on stage 14 against the Fire Breather and the Pitchfork guys. So that's basically the rundown of the team, guys. Let's hop in and let's check out the run. Alright, guys, so here we are in the Law Forest. Now, we are rocking double Law with Krieg and Jin support, Sabo Koala, Infant Clay, and Usohachi. As you guys can see there, we have full auto heal, bind, despair, slots, and charge specials. Not the charge specials is overly necessary, but on the Apu stage, we are going to use the trust ability of Infant Clay. Honestly, like, Infant Clay, in my opinion, is just the most useful unit for this this forest. But they are replaceable, and on this team, they're not overly necessary, to be honest. Especially if you have the supports that I showed in the beginning of the video. But if you don't have the supports, then yeah, they're kind of necessary to remove the bind on the Big Mum stage. So we're just going to take out Apu here in normal attacks. It's Law's ability to just stall and heal 4,000 at the end of every turn with auto heal. It's just freaking insane. It's actually insane. With the amount of damage reduction he has in the Magello ship, it makes life so easy. So against Beej, Grotty, and Vito, we are going to use a Law special here. Now, Law is going to give us a 2.25 times orb boost and a 2.5 to 35.0 chain lock, which is incredibly useful. Like, it's such a strong special, and it lets us do so much extra damage. The orb boost, the chain lock, it's just ridiculous. And the fact that it's 2 turns as well means that, especially on this stage here, we can actually utilize that to take out Vito and Grotty just a lot easier. At stage 13, we are up against you Rogue. We want to sort of just take out your Rogue in one turn, so we are going to spam specials here as we get all of our specials sort of rewinded on the next stage. Anyway, doesn't really matter what specials we have sort of just sitting there. So we are going to use the Sabo Koala special here to give us an attack boost, and then we're going to use our other Law to give us the orbs and chain lock, and then finally Usohachi is going to remove the defense up. That way we can just absolutely destroy your Rogue. Just destroy him. Moving on to stage 14, we have the Fire Breather and the Int Bug. I still don't know their names, and I'm still not going to learn them. So all I know is they're part of Kid's crew. One of them breathes fire, and the other one has a pitchfork. Like, what else can I say? So we're going to stall out on the Int unit, just like our Snake Man team. With this particular team, you can actually pick which one you want to stall on. You can stall on the Int guy, or you can stall on the red guy. I chose the Int guy because we'd already used the Sabo Koala special. But if you stall on the red guy, you want to save Sabo Koala's special so you can remove the 99 turns of orb non-matching. With Sabo Koala and Don, Krieg, and Jin, we can guarantee us 2 red orbs, and then with the Magello ship, we can actually lock them so we have them for the next turn as well. That way we can remove the barrier again when he gives us the burn before the 99 turns of slots not matching. Alright, so now that the Fire Breather is dead, we are just going to take our time and stall out for our specials on the Int unit here. Basically, once Usohachi gets to a 2-turn cooldown is when you can move on. But the fact that Law heals 4,000 every turn, and with the switch ability of Infant Clay or Don Krieg, And Jin, we can actually get, what, 15% damage reduction on top of the Magello ship and Laws and sockets, which means this guy isn't even hitting for 4k. So we are actually healing back more damage than we're taking, which is just awesome. It means that we can infinitely stall on this stage here. No issues whatsoever taking down his HP, no specials required, and we can get our specials back. It also helps us stall out the burn damage the Fire Breather gives us, so we can just sort of keep switching with that damage reducing units until that Usahachi special hits the 2-turn cooldown. Law is just an absolute tank, bro. Like he has got to be one of my favorite characters to use as a leader. I really, really love Shanks' crew. He's my favorite unit in the game. And V2 Snake Man's a lot of fun as well, being the super type legend. But just having just a real basic standalone captain ability that does a lot of different things is really, really handy. It makes team building and it makes play, especially play, to be honest. It makes playing with the unit a lot less strenuous on the brain. Dual units, you got to think a lot more. Super type units, you got to think about team building. With Law, it's just straight power. Straight power. He can tank shots. He can heal. He can dish out damage with a 4.5 times multiplier. He's just really good. Really, really good. The only thing that would make him better is if he had like the healing at the end of the enemy's turn. So then you're always starting with full HP, not like having full HP now. But I mean, moving into the next stage when you kill stuff is always handy having the full HP there. Alright, so Usahachi's now on a 2-turn cooldown, so we can move on here. I think I stole a little bit extra because I was doing something at the time. But now that I've realized that Usahachi is at that point, we can just move on. Yeah, I can't remember what I was doing, but I was doing something. Holy stumped. Come on, let's go. Alright, beautiful. Alright, now that we're on to stage 15 against Killer, we are going to use the same strat that we used in the V2 Snake Man video. We're basically just going to use our Usahachi special here to remove the 5 turns of damage reduction, as well as give us 2 extra turns of delay, which means Killer will be on a 3-turn cooldown. And with the switch ability of Sabo Koala, the incredible captain ability of Law, and type advantage with our Psy units, we can just do so much damage to Killer. So turn 1, we've already got him down to half HP. We are going to take out all 3 turns here just to get Usahachi's cooldown a little bit further down the track. Stage 16 now, we have Big Mom. Big Mom is a pain in the butt. But with this particular team, we do have 2 supports that help us out quite a bit. We have a Halloween Ace on our Sabo Koala, and then we have the limited rare recruit Corazon on our Law. Now, those units aren't required, but if you don't have them, you do need to make sure that Infant Clay doesn't get binded on this particular turn. Now, if Infant Clay doesn't get binded, you can use the Infant Clay special to remove the bind, but it will make stage 17 a little bit trickier. If you don't use those supports and you are using Infant Clay special here, you need to make sure that on the next turn, when our units get stunned, that that either Jin or Usahachi is one of the units that gets stunned, as Big Mom gives us 15 turns of recovery, like bind. So we need to make sure that we can remove that with our limit break of our Laws, Sabo Koala, or Infant Clay. But in saying that, we are just going to use a Law special at either way you do it, and you can just take out Big Mom on that stage there. Against Basil Hawkins, X-Drake, and Page 1 now. Now, this stage scares me every single time I verse it, mainly because the fact that they remove special effects. But with this particular team, we are going to be using Ivankov, Clay, to remove that. So we are going to use Clay's special here. That is going to remove the sound effects or special effects. And then we're also going to use a Law special. Law is going to give us the Orb Boost and Chain Lock. And then we're going to use Don Krieg and Jin special here. Now, they're going to remove the defense up, and we have the support of V1 Akainu to give us a 1.5 times attack boost for red units, as we can't use attack boosters on this stage. And then we're going to use the Magello ship to lock our orbs so we can carry them over to the next stage. Now, we do have 2 turns of Orb Boost, and we have 2 turns of Chain Lock. So we just do so much damage that I just devour Page 1 and X-Drake and Basil Hawkins. So, luckily enough, I did keep X-Drake alive, but the idea was just not to hit him and then attack him on this turn. But things just went a little bit too good on that particular turn there. So you can hit X-Drake, just don't kill him, because you do want to get a little bit of extra stall on our man X-Drake. Alright, on to stage 18 now. We are up against King. King is going to despair us for 6 turns, which is fairly frustrating. And he's going to put up 3 turns of Threshold and damage reduction, as well as blinding our ship for 4 turns, which is fairly annoying. But we are going to use the switch abilities of Clay here to give us some damage reduction. Now, I did get fairly lucky with meat orbs on my particular run, but it's not overly required, as this team has quite a lot of pinch healing. So the idea would be that we tank the next shot, and then with our pinch healing, we can stall out the extra damage. Again, we're using the Ivankov or the Krieg and Jin special to give, or switch ability to give us damage reduction. And now that the Despair's gone, our damage reduction kicks back in with Law. So make sure you have your pinch healing sockets maxed on this particular team, as using Sabo Koala, Clay, and Law's pinch healing will actually just save you on this particular turn. Make sure you use Usahachi special whenever you get it as well, as you do want to get your cooldowns a lot quicker. But you can actually hang on to it as well to get Sabo Koala, use Sabo Koalas first, then use Usahachis. But either way, it doesn't really matter too much. So we are going to lock our orbs here for the next stage using the Magello special. And we are going to dish out a little bit of damage on King, as we do have the red orb barrier. So as you guys can see here, the pinch healing of Law is ridiculously high. 4,200 on top of our auto heal, which is 5,200. Just an insane amount of healing. Alright, so now that King's on the final turn before he does his massive blowaway attack, we are going to use our Sabo Koala special here. Sabo Koala is going to give, we'll remove the negative orb enable, which means Law now has matching orbs. We have color affinity with their switch ability, and a 2.25 attack for our Free Spirit and Cerebral units. And with that, we have enough damage to take out King. Alright, so against Kaido now, stage 19, the second last stage. Kaido's a funny one because we can actually just stall. With this particular team, we can just stall. We have enough healing, we have enough damage reduction to just stall out Kaido. He does around 5,500 every turn, and we have about 4,000 healing. So when we drop below 50% HP, we can rely on our pinch healing. Oh, sorry, no, we can't rely on our pinch healing in this particular stage. We rely on our Clay special to keep us above that HP threshold. As Kaido puts up that incredible burn, it nullifies our pinch healing capabilities. And it's like a 25,000 burn damage, so don't get hit by it, because it will kill you. Especially with this team, like, we've only got 30,000 HP, like, it's just GG. But it's funny because I remember running the V2 Snake Man team and that tail attack doing around 10k, and with Law it does about 5. So Law has around 50% extra damage reduction than like V2 Snake Man does. Make sure you are hitting your grates on this particular stage too. You do want to sort of do as much damage to Kaido as possible. As we can't hit perfects, it reduces our damage significantly. We are just going to stall out until we get Sabo Koala's special back, or at least until we get close enough for Sabo Koala's special. We do want to stall out the burn as well. It will get reapplied to us though, so be mindful of that. When you remove it on the Kaido stage, he does just reapply it on that next turn. So when it hits a 2-turn cooldown is the best time to move on to the final stage. That way when you move in against Kid, you won't have that burn. I got quite lucky with meat orbs here too, but as you guys can see down the bottom there, Ivankov's special is waiting for us to use, so we can use that to sort of sit around full HP as well. So there we go, we get the burn reapplied. I think it's actually a turn after we removed it, so just be mindful that it does come back. But it's not the end of the world. So I do use the Ivankov special here because I realized that being at full HP, Laura is going to just do so much more damage, especially when moving into the final stage against Kid. But unfortunately, I think we fall just shy of the HP threshold, or being at max HP. Before you move into the Kid stage 2, whenever that may be, or when that burn hits 2, make sure that you are in your Jin stage, your Koala stage, and your Ivankov stage. Well, honestly, just make sure you're in Sabo now that I'm... Koala now that I'm thinking about it, so you can switch into Sabo for color affinity. Alright, so I'm going to use the Magello special to lock out orbs here, as we do have some pretty nice orbs before we use the Law special. So now that we are on the 2-turn cooldown with that burn, this is where we're going to finish off Kaido here. And with our grades, we can just take out Kaido here. We did have enough buffer to take one perfect if we needed to, but as you guys can see there, we just had enough damage to take out Kaido. Now, with this particular team, not that we have any other specials available to us, so we do remove the special bind, so we can use more than 2 specials, but we are just going to use the switchability of Sabo Koala, use the Sabo Koala special, use the Law special, and with that, it's GG Kid. So, there you go, guys. That's the final team that I'll be making for a little while on the Kid Forest. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and if you did, make sure to hit the like button if you want to stay up to date with more OPTC content that I post. Hit that big red subscribe button too. But guys, most importantly, enjoy the rest of your day. I thank you all for watching. I thank you for all the love and support you guys are showing the channel recently. I can't thank you guys enough. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Lights!